diamonds in the rough. NFL Draft Diamonds. Time to shine.
Hi, my name is Jimmy Williams with NFL Draft Diamonds, and today I have with me a CFL prospect. His name is Cole Nelson, and he's a defensive tackle out of the University of Alberta. How you doing, man?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's always great getting you guys from up north. I do appreciate your time. I think it's great just to kind of get to know you a little bit. I'll just be frank for everybody out there. I mean, very first thing that jumps off the table for me is I saw this guy's size. He is a huge defensive tackle. Everybody needs to know who he is. So let's go ahead and get started, Cole. Why don't you give me your I don't know, just a brief history of you as a football player, if you don't mind. Take me back even to your high school days. Where are you from?
I grew up in Pinoca, Alberta, which is about an hour south of where I currently go to university. I started playing football on Pee Wee in the town over in Lacombe because we don't have 12-man football here. I did that all the way up till high school. Got recruited by Coach Morris at U of A and kind of took me that way.
Great. And again, I have you listed 6'6", almost 6'7", really, but 6'6", 310 pounds, which definitely makes you a very formidable defensive tackle. Where would you be there actually on that defensive line? I mean, are you playing nose? Are you moving around a little bit? What kind of defensive lineman would a team be getting in?
I mean, typically I've just been playing 3-tech for the last 2 years. Over the last 4 years, we've had a different defensive coordinator each year. So we've swapped from the 3-man front where I played, I guess, the nose position straight up on the center a lot. But still now, like I'll swap between like our 1-tech and me swap depending on the play and how our coordinator wants us to approach things systematically.
Great. And I mean, do you see yourself as a leader out there on the football field? I mean, just tell me a little bit about you and your leadership role, if you have one, for the Golden Bears.
Well, I'm not an active captain, but I'm in all our captain groups. It's and I'm usually kind of kept up to date what's going on with the boys and the team. I'd say I'm definitely kind of like a back, kind of sit in the back kind of leader. I take care of the boys, like kind of behind the scenes, definitely, and like coach everybody up when, some people are uncomfortable or coming into the team and just need advice for sure.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, some people do have somewhat of a leadership role and personality, even without the title, even without the moniker. So, I mean, again, like you said, I mean, being in those rooms, being trusted, by your coaches and teammates. I mean, being able to help the younger guys, kind of, get them involved and help them learn where they need to be. I mean, I think that's great. I do want to just kind of chat with you a little bit about your days of playing football. So why don't you kind of lay it on me, man? What are some of your most your best moments out there in the field? I mean, maybe your most memorable game or play.
I'd say my most memorable game in university would be my second year against the University of British Columbia, because that was the first sack I got in university. And just the energy that the boys give you after a sack, making a big play, it's just stuck with me in my brain, and it kind of like fires you up to kind of get there again, and just always think about it going into games.
So, I mean, you're a big defensive tackle. I mean, are you getting a lot of sacks, or are you just mainly there to be a run stuffer?
I mean, I've had a few over the years, but I think I get pretty good pressure, and I think teams can see where I am on the field, and I've noticed the way they develop and run that it's not always coming my way. But I've developed as I've gotten heavier as a really good run stopper, because when I first got to university, I was kind of a lanky, tall kid, just really fast. But I've definitely developed more as a kind of run fit kind of guy on the inside.
Sure. So I mean, again, a lot of teams are going to, probably still, put you there, either at nose or as a three tech. Again, you can't ignore guys your size. You just can't. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to reach out to you, because I think even some NFL teams really need to know who you are. I do want to get to know you as a student of the game. So we talked about your most memorable moment, but I mean, I do want to see like and maybe how you break down film, and maybe even give me an example of how that really played out in a game time situation. So tell me about you, breaking down film.
Our individual coaches on the D line developed kind of a system that kind of give us a baseline. I'm coming out of high school in a small town in Alberta. Football is not a big thing here, so I wasn't really a super football IQ kind of guy going to university. So it was really nice as I went to university that there's kind of this play format that I could follow getting into film, and we adjust it, however it fits me best. But like some things on that are, what is the stance the guys are in? What's the down and distance? What do the teams run out of that? I mean, we get our pre-game sheets the week ahead. So, you implement all that into that sheet that we're writing down things. And, just kind of feel it out, and we'll work with the linebackers and the whole D line as kind of a group, because we found that works better. Just the boys being together and, taking on that film and absorbing it better.
Great. And one of the other things that I wanted to chat with you about is your pro day, because I mean, you guys up in Canada, you're doing these virtual pro days, which I think is kind of strange, but if that's how you guys are running it this go around, that's fine. But give me a little bit of insight into that pro day. I mean, what were you able to accomplish, and really hopefully show scouts what you were able to do?
I mean, I've definitely hit some PRs on the bench. I wasn't a good bencher coming out of high school. I couldn't bench 225 once, and now I'm at 25 reps, so I'm pretty proud of that. Getting there, being 310, running a 509 is definitely a good speed for someone my size up here, and I think teams will appreciate that. So.
Great. I mean, like you said, I mean, some pretty decent numbers. 25 reps is fair for a guy of your size and your length. Because the thing that a lot of people forget is, you guys that are, 6'6", 6'7", I mean, you've got these enormous long arms. I mean, that, it's just kind of, I mean, the distance between, your chest and locking out your elbow, it's a lot harder for you than a guy that has maybe like 29-inch arms.
Yeah.
So people need to keep that in mind for sure. But one of the things that you told me that you weren't able to do at your pro day was a vertical, and you told me earlier that vertical was it was in the 30s, 34 inch vertical, which that puts you up there even more so in my book, being able to get that vertical up, as well as that 5.0940. Those are some great numbers to share for real. Were you able to do any position work as well?
Yeah, the CFL gave us with our pro day, they gave us an extra sheet of specific kind of drills we could do. The way they gave it to us, just because of COVID and everything, it's very, you can't have anybody else in the film, and you're just working against air on cones. So it was come off the line, kind of do a move, do like a scramble drill, kind of chasing the quarterback around and then fly back through, and then like a ability to kind of turn the corner on the edge. And that was all we had to do for that.
So basically just seeing you bend, seeing you move, kind of having you, on an arc or something, as if you were going to sack somebody.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So where are you at with the weight room just in general? Talk to me about you in the weight room, and maybe even your favorite exercise. So what's your favorite exercise there in the weight room?
Probably box squatting, just because you can put a ton of weight on your shoulders, get down, kind of feel where that depth is and just drive your ass up.
Gotcha. So literally speaking, putting the weight on your shoulders. Uh, are you the kind of guy that you can figuratively put the weight on your shoulders and maybe even carry a team? I mean, how does that feel for you? I mean, if someone were to say, Cole, we really need you to, really come through for this particular play. I mean, is that pressure? Are you willing to take that sort of pressure out there on the football field?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say I'm a pretty chill guy and I can like compartmentalize things really easily and I have super high energy. So I think being chill and having high energy is a good combination because I don't really doubt myself when I'm out there. I mean, I'm not like thinking I'm like, oh, am I gonna mess up? I'm just firing on all cylinders and go out there and have fun and be there for the boys.
Gotcha. And I want to give you the opportunity. Let's just say we had a time machine. We can go back in time, and you can tell your younger self some advice. Just kind of prepare him, for his university days. What sort of advice would you give? Maybe like a younger, maybe 17-year-old Cole.
I'd probably tell myself to kind of think about opportunities outside of your, I want to say it like orb of like kind of influence. I mean, I grew up in a small town and everyone here, we're either construction workers, welders, worked in the oil field. And I kind of saw that as something I was going to do in the future. And then all of a sudden I got recruited and going to an academic university, it's not a trade school. So I definitely tell myself, find your passion outside of just kind of that traditional values of the area you live, going to the big city and kind of figuring new stuff out.
Great. So just kind of broadening your horizons a little bit. I guess is what we're getting at there.
Yeah.
Great. I do want to get a chance to meet Cole Nelson outside of football. So tell me a little bit about who you are, maybe some interests or hobbies. I mean, what is something that you can share with the people out there about you?
Well, I grew up on a farm. I like to ride horses because my mom raised barrel horses. We had a stud. He died 8-10 years ago now. So we don't breed anymore, but we still train a little bit. I grew up welding. My friends and a lot of family I know kind of did that trade kind of idea. And it helps being on a farm, being able to weld, the disc breaks, put it back together. And I just kind of found a passion kind of being artistic with it and making my own kind of things, modifying my truck or making kind of furniture for house. Well, maybe not furniture, but, decals on the walls and that kind of stuff. Lots of snow up here in Canada. I love snowmobiling. I got a Yamaha 2008. Like going to, kind of towards BC, the mountains, going and ripping up there. And yeah.
Cool. I mean,
probably
it sounds like you're a pretty fun guy. I mean, being able to just kind of go outside and, enjoy what you got out there outdoors. I mean, I do think it's kind of interesting. It's so hard for me to see a guy your size mounting a horse. So I'm just trying to picture that, like how, it would certainly be something. So,
yeah, it can look a little weird on a smaller horse, but once they start bucking and you weigh 300 pounds, they realize that they don't want to do that anymore. So it's pretty,
right.
it has its advantages.
Hey, I mean, if you're able to tame a horse, I mean, I think that's a good thing. I mean, because obviously, you're the one on the football field, wreaking havoc. You're the Mustang, so to speak, that people need to pull the reins back on out there. So great. I do want to just give you a moment, shout out a few people. This isn't for me, but it is for maybe some people that might end up watching this. So like family, coaches, teammates, give some shout outs to some people that have really helped get you to where you're at.
I mean, of course, my mom and my dad, supporting me always, helping me out financially, emotionally, whenever life gets hard. Coach Morris, I mean, took a shot on a guy in a small town, Alberta. My best friend, Anthony, coming out of a place like Ponoka and going to the city, you know, it's a big life shift, and he really helped me kind of adapt to like the city life and, you know, the kind of differences going there. And, you know, all my mentors growing up in minor football, and yeah.
Great. And I do want to give you the opportunity to give, just first of all, just tell me your why. I mean, why do you play football? I mean, maybe why you started, why you play now. Just talk to me about your motivation.
Um, I want to make my parents proud. And I see it as an opportunity to kind of, not that my life in Ponoka and the surrounding area is bad, but it's an opportunity to kind of escape maybe what I would have done growing up, you know, and I got to learn new things. And I probably coming out of high school would have wanted to be a welder, but now I want to be a cop. And, you know, it kind of gave me that opportunity to slow my life down and learn new things. And doing that, you just get to learn and experience new things. You get to do some pretty harsh stuff as you go to university with the boys. I mean, coaches run you hard, and you kind of get that camaraderie that you never had, and it just drives me. Yeah.
Great. And I do want to give you very last thing for you, Cole. I want you to give your pitch to really all those professional teams out there, whether it be in the CFL or the NFL. I want you to really tell them, why they should take a chance on you and what kind of, player you would be for their team.
I mean, I'm pushing 6'7", and I'm pretty explosive for my size, big, strong, fast. I mean, what else could a guy want? But, you know, I'm personable. I don't make off-field mistakes. I put my head in the playbook all the time. I take care of the little things, keep my body healthy, and try to prepare mentally always. So when stuff comes up, I can be ready for it.
Great. Well, I mean, again, I personally feel like people need to, look at your film. They need to look and see, hey, this guy has a lot to offer. I mean, again, probably being able to move you across the defensive front, playing at, nose, three tech, or anywhere in between. I think that that's certainly something that you can bring to any team. And then, kind of just like you said, I mean, the off the field stuff, we don't have to worry about you there. And certainly a guy that is very personable, that can easily be a great teammate for any ball club. So, Cole, this has been great. I appreciate you taking the time, sitting down with me, sharing your story. I think it's a great story. I know your parents are already proud of you, but I mean, I do feel like, some professional team is bound to give you an opportunity to go out there and showcase your talent. So, best of luck to you moving forward.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Again, this is Cole Nelson. He's a defensive tackle out of the University of Alberta. Definitely check him out.